Hello and welcome to another video tutorial about Planetary Annihilation Titans. And this time we have a different map. So good luck, have fun. This one is Craig or Geb. Now the features of this map are that there are 6 platforms here. One to either side of you, as well as your opponent here. And then this big old metal field in the back that you really do not want to ignore. But like last time, we're going to approach this very simply.
Orbital drop sequence initialized.
As to not completely blow up our brains and just make our brains stop working halfway through because we can't quite figure out what the hell's going on. But there are solutions to that problem. So, like we've been doing a very basic build order. Which will be doing something like this. Making 3 fabs, docks. And then we're going to start nearby the metal points. Right. And just start taking this metal. I'm gonna have 1 take the stuff in our base, and I'm gonna have 2 start securing this platform here. See how that works out for us. While we're waiting for all this, we're gonna queue up some units, and I'm gonna send this bomber out. I'm gonna go bomber first so that I can just send them out and just get an idea of what exactly is going on. And if you're curious where your opponent starts, all of the 1v1 maps are symmetrical. Our commander's doing a little bit of walking, but not too much to worry about right now. I'm gonna take some metal, put up a turret, put up a glotted turret, set up a radar, and take some more metal because we want to ready for some early raiding. And send those docks that way, make sure that our bots are protected, and keep an eye on our base every once in a while. Take a look and see.
Hostile forces detected.
There's units to be queued up. So what this bomber is for is to snipe those early fabs. So I'm just gonna fly around his base, go to places that he's likely to expand, snipe fabs as they leave. I want to go too close because then he'll see it. Okay, right now we're about good. I'm gonna send some docks in to take out his early metal. Just continue producing units from our base and having them queue for places nearby his base that we know that he's not fortified at. Gonna keep flying around. Just make sure that, oh man, those fucking docks got my bomber. That's fine, we'll just queue up another bomber. Gonna control click him in, so only one gets built. Of course, all my factories are set to loop by default using a mod. And we have this radar set up so that we aren't constantly in fear of what's coming. We know what's coming. At least in that area, which is covered. So, gonna fly around here. Fly around his base and see if he's doing any expanding. We just saw a fabricator. Let's go take care of that guy. And keep flying around. Doing little circles around him. Now while we were doing all that, commander was idle. We don't want to have an idle commander. For sure. We have a lot of eco coming in, so I'm just gonna send some of it spend some of this fabricator's time on actually setting up a radar. Now I know that he's going to want to expand here. I'm gonna set up 2 turrets and a radar. Actually, yeah, before he actually comes over here and starts doing things, I'm gonna set up a little turret line. Who's less likely to get useful things done. I want to continue raiding. Oh, we have a lot of fabs. I'm gonna send these 2 fabs that we queued up a little bit earlier. I didn't say anything about it. I don't know why. Sorry. I just didn't say anything about it. What I'm doing here is wiggling my docks so that these grenadier shots won't hit. I'm looking over here. I see a fab that I can snipe again. So that'll be my #1 priority. Looks like our bomber took care of fun things over there that we didn't want to deal with later on. Here soon, we will have the radar up along with the Glotta turret. What these turrets are for, so I don't have to constantly be reacting to the things that he's doing. I have systems in place that are automatic and more efficient in most cases to defend with. So that's what we'll do. And every time we see him sending out a grenadier which outranges our turret, just kill that grenadier. Looks like he's been taking metal in the backside here. I don't want that. I'm gonna take out this turret. And I'm gonna send my docks around to places that he's likely to have taken metal, so that I can have my Air Force doing other things. It's also not good to have your units patrolling like having his Air Force patrolling like the way he is. Extremely risky. There's no coverage for his air, it's just gonna keep getting fucked up. No spinners in his mix, meaning there's no anti-air in this clump of units. Gonna get taken care of quite easily. I'm tired of him sending grenadiers over here though. I'm gonna set up some pelters. We want to continue just taking every opportunity we have to taking out his fabricators. If you see here, we're actually have a lot of unspent metal right now. It's good if you're new, not so good if you're not. We're just gonna keep expanding forward our supply lines and making sure that, ooh, there's the fab. There is the fab. You don't want to be bothered. It is acceptable to area patrol a couple docks, take out metal extractors in a small area, or an area like that. We're just gonna crowd control them with these pelters for the time being. Want some T2, I'm gonna control click in a couple fabs so that I don't overmake them, because I'm paying attention to like certain micro aspects, stuff like that. I'm just gonna have my air go back and forth here a couple times. Because with this radar coverage, I know at least the position of all his things. If I look closely, I can probably guess what exactly he's sending at me. Which is 8 units. They're not moving separately, so I can't tell. Okay, there is Grenadier that could be causing us issues if we didn't have a pelter. But we do have pelter. And we have fabs over here that can be building up factories. And then, just in case you get some ideas about sending in some lone bombers, for God knows why he would do that, but people do that. But as you can see, his Air Force is actually rallied right at mine. You want to keep an eye on things like that, because it's going to cause you a lot of frustration if you find out that the reason you can't find your Air Force is because he was actually rallying right into a death trap. So we have fabs here. We can build a T2 factory right there. And have one of these fabs take this metal. He's gonna walk into his base, let that kind of sort itself out. Keep looking around. Nothing really scary going on here.
Continuous build enabled.
Pick up some units. Now, if you don't know, I'm making extensive use of hotkeys. I actually have a lot of custom hotkeys and mods. So I have the mod manager for the game called Pam. You can look up. I'll probably eventually put a link in my description, but there's a link to it on my Twitch channel. It's got quite a few wonderful mods on there that makes the game a whole lot more playable. So I have a mod called Infinite Build that sets all my factories to loop build by default. I have a mod called Hot Build 2, which will display the hotkeys for each of these, and the hotkeys fully customizable. It has a menu and stuff, its own modded menu. Moddable menu, I don't know, but it's easy because you can bind multiple buildings to a single hotkey. So here I am pressing F, and it's scrolling between these two down here.
Engaging enemy command.
The same thing for like turrets, quite a few things like that. Very straightforward. I also have a mod called More Pew Pew. That's why my polos are shooting green, not every fucking every unit has a different color. It's like a Hulkins will look different from a Pelter.
You are victorious.
There won't be bland white colors, which is beneficial both from a graphical perspective and a gameplay perspective if you are newer. You could say that the attacks are color coded. So what happened this game? Wait for it to refresh or catch up so that we can go backwards. So let's kind of observe what our opponent did. Started out with a bot factory. One metal okay, here's the first thing he did wrong. He started far enough away from this metal extractor that his commander walked. If you were to start there, would have wanted to at least take this one metal point. But you want to, you want to get at least 3 factories up, ideally, before your commander moves an inch. Kind of difficult on this map, but he is already far behind, as you can see on here. His commander's been walking. At this given point, my air factory should already be started. Yep. So another thing that he could do is double up on bot fabs. Meaning have one assist the other. That's not extremely important. I like that he has built a radar, but when I went raiding, he didn't really react to anything anyway. But that's because he was pretty far behind. Let's see what else he did. I think we sniped a bot fab early on. If you lose any fabs early on, you're in a bad place unless you overproduce for whatever reason, an expectation of losing fabs. But we did a fly around. I think it was out here. You can potentially dodge bomber fire. Since everything in this game is physics based, you can dodge that bomber. Even with a vehicle fab. What you would do is as soon as it goes down, you're moving this way, you turn around, the game will predict that you're moving one way and you go the opposite direction. It'll miss. And in that situation, you know that you have two fabs that are in very disadvantageous positions, you could say. Very open spots with nothing up quite at that particular moment. What he could have benefited from is having, instead of having his air just kind of patrolling around here and like hopefully getting lucky, he could have had this air factory sort of go here, like rallied here. So like he clicked the factory, right click the ground over here, so that it would, the hummingbird would go here, so that by the time this bomber gets here, it doesn't even have to react because the interceptor would have been there and the bomber would have been dead, and you'd have probably been able to dodge shot. Another thing was he didn't have radar in his base, or had been established on either of these platforms, so he really had no idea that I kept flying around his base. And this, as you can see, area patrolling with an interceptor really isn't that good. So at this point, I'm already established on this platform. I have all my starting mechs versus him. Completely ignored one. I'm also establishing myself on this platform. It gives me a huge advantage because I even have Doc's presence coming up on his metal. And then this was just a matter of time for him. Although he did expand on the backside, and by the time he got this up, I didn't scout very well, at least back here. But he only managed to get 5 metal extractors up before I was able to keep him from having even that for his eco. But you see that I expanded in the back. I had plenty of units. It wasn't stalling. And every time I saw a fab, I destroyed it. Which, fabs affect these two numbers, the economy. If you can prevent this number from going up, you can prevent this number from going up, and this number going up. So you won't be able to afford more factories or units, especially if he continues building factories when he can't afford to power them. But At this point, very early on, you lose your fabs. You're gonna be in for an uphill battle. So some things that he could have done better, that what set him behind immediately was he didn't grab 2 mechs. He immediately built 2 power gens, which will set him behind from the first air factory. You're not gonna need that if you're starting out with 3 fabs. He actually stalled there. You're looking around here. Yep. So compared to me, my commander wasn't moving an awful amount. My first 2 factories were up before he moved, but this will be room for improvement for me, because if you see, I was very busy microing. I forgot to play Tetris with my commander for a while, meaning I forgot to queue up a bunch of buildings. So this, if both of us were playing in a similar place, similar skill level, this could have lost me in the game, because that's a good... See, that's a good 45 seconds that I was behind on production. Okay, so good game. Hopefully you learned something from that, and have a wonderful day.